Not Just Music Podcast in the building again. Another opportunity to talk about some great things that's been going on, that's been happening for years to come, and that has happened in history. How's everything this morning?
Oh, what's up, bro? Yeah, early morning shoot, man. Blessed and highly favored. Everything's good. How you doing, Brody?
Excellent. So I was been speaking on music production for about 3 good episodes here. Um Hindsight, I had started speaking on things to do to consider history when it comes to being creative, especially the nature of what it takes to be great at something. And I think this leads back to, especially when it comes to the culture, blacks, black history, musicians that are highly favored in the black history world. I pointed out Motown, um, highly respectable to them because of something that a lot of black people have totally disbanded, right? Um, the biggest thing is the togetherness. If you look at some of the biggest hits of the world, and especially speaking back to early days, and especially when it comes to like writers, musicians, um, maybe not even just the writers in a position, not even the writers that are in a positions like now. I'm speaking like in Motown era, you had to be a special individual to be in the room. Um, and it's only imaginable like now it's not a quote unquote code to being good or whether it's bad or not. We spoke on that too. What makes a hit? What's good? What's bad? What elements of a song makes it a hit? What makes it, you know? Now I'm gonna expand a little bit on both of those topics. I'm gonna put them together in a way. And this is what I was saying: building a rapport now with your music is highly important. Um, Notice, and I'm gonna ask you too. I'm gonna ask you this first. Have you ever noticed that most hit songs don't have just one person on credits? Am I right or wrong?
You absolutely right.
Why do
The
you
older
feel?
songs, especially the older songs back.
Yeah, and I'm gonna point to these ones in the new era too. Now, the ones that's from the past first, right?
Mhm.
Do you notice the how everything was structured
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
then?
say. That's what I was
What
gonna
do you
say.
what do you
Those
feel the
people put the work
structure?
in.
And also not just putting the work in, they did it together. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
wasn't like it wasn't a big person or it wasn't like a little person. It was like all people who were on the records. It,
Collaborating
it was there we
officially.
go. There we go. Now let's get to the collaboration part here. Now that's the reason why I want to talk about collaboration. Just as in the nature of blacks in history, I think they were more so paying attention to doing things together for the art and for the culture and for the sake of who we were as black folks, right?
Hmm.
Um, just like anything that we've talked about when it comes to history, it was, you know, you got Malcolm X. Yeah, you had Malcolm X, but then you had a crew of folk behind Malcolm X, or you had Martin Luther King. You had Martin Luther King, but you had a crew of folk behind Martin Luther King. Now, do you think that the way
Hey, can I? Yeah,
history?
hey,
Yep.
Martin Luther. Somebody even wrote Martin Luther King. Helped Martin Luther King write his "I Have a Dream" speech. Everybody,
Mhm.
collaboration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Collaboration. Like
Yeah.
everybody has that. Every true good individual impactful individual had that help or that
Mm-hmm.
collaborative effort. What we talking about? But yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
No. So there's a reason for the collaboratives to come together. The bigger the collaborative, the better the ending product. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there could be a lot of names on a list, but as long as these names on that list are worthy, you know,
And working,
consider
actually
and
contributed.
yeah, and it's a collaborative effort to where everybody is in on it versus it being just one of those this one person did this, one person did this, one person did that, one person did it. It's rare you're gonna see something like that.
So can I
Now,
ask you something though on that?
yeah,
How do
yeah.
you feel? How do you feel about because you know you've had artists put uh like say they might put their homeboy on a credit so they can get paid that's locked up. So when
Mm.
the song start getting money, that person is locked up, or they might put their child's name down as a credit. How do you feel about that? Like in those situations, like
So
they didn't contribute to it, but since they're associated with this person, they looking out for them. They want to put them down as a credit, but they really didn't do nothing for the album or the single or whatever it is.
it all comes down to inheritance.
Okay,
And same thing is property. You know,
okay,
yeah, it's your property. If you when you choose to, if just like you, if you haven't put a clause in place to where, or put a plan in place to where when you die,
mm-hmm.
your music can keep going on, keep having life, keep bringing in money and things of that nature.
See, that's important.
You have to realize these things when you are becoming a creative. You know, who's gonna take this over after a certain amount of time? You know, I
Mm,
mean, it could be, yeah, your homeboy. Just say, let me make an example, right? You say somebody's in prison, right, or in jail. You know, they put their name on it. In hindsight of gaining credibility in the future. So, you know, just like with DJ Khaled put a side name on the whole, I can't remember which album it was, 2 albums back, 1 album back, something like that. Aside was the exec producer on every single record.
mm,
And
mm.
it's just the simplicity of, you know, people might think that, oh man, that was a wild idea, but to me, it was a great idea. I mean, Aside may never touch music in his life, in a sense, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he has that credibility from that album that Khaled put out and had his name on. So if in anything he does moving forward, he has that on his resume, right? Um, so for me, just like with him, like Khaled thinks like a true Motown, you know, idol. And I'm being honest in the sense of saying Khaled only puts records together that are collaborative. It's nothing that's gonna be just DJ Khaled. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. And honestly, people didn't like it, but to me, it was really a genius structured situation because, you know, that's what it takes to make a hit. You know, I'm understanding of that.
Yeah.
Now for those that don't think that way now, this is the reason why I'm bringing it up. Especially, I wanted to bring a situation to why we talking about the stuff versus just saying, you know, leaving a why question open.
Yeah.
So, you know, who are we now to feel like, you know, this is gonna happen on its own, right? And you know, every situation of something that I do that's meaningful, that's still going, that has value, there's more than one person connected to it. More than one person. Don't matter how I looked at it. You know, it may feel like, man, I'm by myself on it. Nah, there's never a situation where something that you're working with or something that you're working into doesn't have structure. If it didn't have structure, you wouldn't be probably a part of it.
Right.
So you have to think about this. I'm gonna ask a question, one more question. So if the sake of work, right? Like just like you are in a creative, lane. That's what you do. Besides going to work, besides being other things. Now, do you feel now, because you brought it up in the nature of saying, here's this writers. We brought up the situation of writers a lot.
Yeah.
Who is credible, who's not credible, MC, ghostwriter type situation. We talked about a lot of it. Now, the hardest parts of those values nowadays are, we considerably, if we could shake the selfishness of the music game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you feel just like with Motown? Motown wasn't selfish, right? And Barry Gordy was not selfish in any way. This man was bringing in people as much as he could, right?
Yeah.
And at one point, everybody saw the value in it. He had all the hits. He had everything going there, right?
Right.
But just think about if he tried to do it by himself, right? Do you think they would have called?
Impossible.
Now?
Impossible. If they did have great quality, the quantity probably wouldn't be up there. He wouldn't be able to produce as much great hits as he did. So you're gonna lose something.
Yeah.
You might lose that quality. You know what I'm saying? Doing it by yourself. Or you might spend years and years or months on one song when you could have had 10, 20 of these things in a month, like how he doing, like it was a machine. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what's needed today's time, because we complain about quality. Okay, what's the way to fix quality? Okay, get help, collaborate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about quantity, you want to get it out at a production rate, a fast production, to keep up with this world we live in. What do you need? A team. No one man can run an operation like this by themselves. Even like you just said, even work. When you go to work, when I go to 9 to 5, it's assembly line. Everybody has to do their job. I do my part. This person next do their part when they get the part or whatever they get. If I'm running back and forth, guess what? Production is going to stop. It's going to be slower than if I could have just stayed in my position and did me. And put this with an artist. If you got to be more than an artist, songwriter, this and that, producer, you're not going to get as much done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, I hate to compare these two, but Michael had a lot of hits. Michael had a lot of music compared to Prince. And Prince played every instrument. Prince did a lot of stuff, but Michael had that machine behind him. He just went in there and was a performer, singer. Prince was doing all this other stuff in respect to Prince, but that slowed him down, I think, on the music quantity that he could have put out up there with Michael. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-lose thing, man. Whatever route you choose,
Question answered. Then I love when my idea of something can get a question and answered, and we did that all in 15 minutes. Most times when you look, as Q just said, there's this strong tower of musicians, writers, mix engineers, recording engineers, mastering engineers, A&Rs who are waiting for you. Literally, just sitting, they just waiting. And honesty for it is, just remember this too. Remember, the person who gets the most credit for a song in real life is the person who is singing that song, who is rapping that song, okay? They will get the most credit for it. In the end, I don't care how we want to turn that around. People try to turn it around so many times. Just remember, the person who is the biggest on a record is the person who is singing or rapping or talking, the spoken word.
And you got to think about the time we in. Yeah. The time we in, bro, the way music is, nobody really cares about credits. All we really care about is this song hot or not right now. That like that's all we really care about right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who wrote it. I don't care who produced it. I don't care who like we want to know who's singing and rapping. Yeah, we want to know them. So like you just said, you're going to get the credit. The
Mm-hmm.
artist, don't trip. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't write the song. But I, my mindset has changed a lot on that too. Cause nowadays it's like, are we just gonna sit here and be stubborn and not want to adjust back to the how it really was supposed to work? Like you say, Motown, how they did it. Are we gonna just ignore the history and see what worked and what don't work? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get
Mm-hmm.
out of our heads and include me. You know what I'm saying? And go back to that formula. You know what I'm saying? If we want to make music again, or I want to be a pivotal role in this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
yeah,
pieces to getting to the greatness is what we're speaking of.
right,
That's what
right,
we're
right.
talking about, y'all. If you haven't witnessed or experienced a studio situation where a bunch of collaboratives come in a room, that's something I want y'all to at least one of your albums, one of your records, get all the collaboratives in one room and see what you come up with. I guarantee you it'll turn out faster. One, because it's always crazy. I mean, I've done it a bunch of times. Be in a room. This is 5, 6, 7, 8 people, 9, 10 people in the room,
Mm,
and you start a musical vibe. Everybody's minds open. Everybody is open. So you got 10 brains open
yeah,
to ideas, 5 brains open to an idea. You know, it could be 2 words you could have said wrong. It could have been a whole bar that you said
yeah,
wrong. You could have said a line wrong. You
yeah.
could have added more expression here. All these ideas in one room at one time is a beautiful
But
substance to
see,
have. So,
look, this is another thing. I've been personally reaching out to people,
mm,
bands, a lot of people. So this is the thing. If y'all watching this, let's work together. It's artists out here actually reaching out to y'all, man. Like Dewan say, they waiting on us. So what I'm saying is, let's stop being so. How can I put it? Let's stop being so judgmental about personal art music, and let's just get in, try to understand a vision, and get in there and create. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You never
Mm-hmm.
know what a person can offer until you hear them out and you give them a chance. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of this also is on all of us. It ain't just the artist. It's the, like you say, that drummer or that pianist, that the songwriter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we have to get out of our heads that we're better and we got it going on. Like, let's be humble, and our next hit might come from the exact same people that we see less worthy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I'm trying to get into the collaboration stage. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I say, let's stop judging and let's just work, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just like
Mm-hmm.
all my people, man. Like, if you a church in the band, don't look at me crazy because I might do outside of the church music or certain things. Like, give me a chance, Like, music don't define the character I am and who I am as a person and my work ethic. So I want to throw that in there too, man. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that, a lot of gatekeeping going
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So for a time that's gone, or for the time that's gone, if you're one of those people that still just, you know, you 50 records in. I did all these 50 records by myself, bro. I sat at the house, I recorded every last one of them on my laptop, bro. I put them out to the world, and none of them were hits, bro. None of them were hits. It may be just because you didn't have a few other people in that room that, hey, and this is another thing that comes along with those 10 people, or those 5 people, those 3 people, or those 4 people. when it's 4 people pushing a record, when it's 5 people pushing a record, when it's 10 people pushing a record, it's much bigger and grander than that one
Yes.
person that's pushing a record.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
it's much grander. It's a grand situation when 2 people or 3 or 5 or however many I said. Then once those 10 people get it, those 10 pass it on, and you got 20. Then you got 20 folk. Then you got 40. Then you got 40 folk. Then you got
Man.
80. It starts
I
to
seen the
grow.
backstory. I know the backstory of pushing your own work, man. I mean, yeah, I seen the back end, but boy, I'm telling you, it take a lot out of you just doing it yourself, pushing it yourself as an artist, man. Yeah. Like you say, that is absolutely right, man. Having more hands pushing it is a blessing because, damn, man, like just to get to that one number you vision is a lot, a lot of work. Like artists don't think of that. They don't think after I record this record, what am I
Nope, they
going to
don't.
do to make this album, make this song big? You know what I'm saying? So, or this movie or whatever, it's a lot of work, man.
And now it's enough of this. This is when we can close this out after this.
Yeah.
So it's enough of that. It's enough of that unexcused mentality that you have or we've had. This is something that, like, literally, y'all should really think about it. Don't think about it in the sense of, you're giving away something. That's not it. If you're the one that's on the record that's singing, if you're one that's rapping, if it's your voice, remember, get everything that you can to make that voice or your voice be the best that it can be, meaning the surrounding body of music that comes with it, the instrumental or whatever it is.
Especially if you put a lot of work in. I want to say that you owe yourself a hit. Like this is the people that's been in the game and doing it. Don't feel you've been doing it yourself this whole time. Don't think because somebody writes one song for you that diminishes, oh, I'm a songwriter. No, your whole catalog before that, you wrote everything. I'm speaking about me. This is a circumstance I'm in. I'll take somebody to write a song for me now because I know everything I've done prior to this next project, I wrote it. So my abilities as a writer has never been questioned. And, to write my own movie, like that's never been questioned. So I owe myself a hit. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Anybody that's been doing this, man, by themselves, doing this, been in the game, really deserve it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to y'all. Y'all deserve it, man. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at it like that, like you giving up something, like Dewan say. But okay, that's it.
Oh, you fine. And if that makes sense to you, that simply is just it's a big help.
What's going on? It's your boy Dewan Barino from Not Just Music Podcast. I have a very special offer for you guys via morelabs.com. If you're that type of person who loves to drink coffee, but you don't want to always drink coffee, or if you're the type of person that doesn't drink coffee at all, but needs a very much needed boost in the morning, we have something for you. Morning Recovery Supplement. It is very, very useful. It is very, very highly effective. Also, if you're the type of person that, you got drunk the night before and you wake up in the morning, you had a hangover, guess what? It works for you too. All right. So at the end of the day, if you head over there to morelabs.com, we have something set up for you already at checkout. All you have to do is enter the code NJMP and you will receive 25% off instantly. How about that? Can you beat that? Head over to morelabs.com, all right? Peace.
It's a big help. Since the top of the year, that's what I've tried to always have that as my final instruction of these episodes. If there's no need of wasting valuable years, especially while you're young, and especially those that are like 19, 20, 21 age frame, if a little bit less than that. If it's a parent that's out here, you got a child, you think they have value in music, like find them a team. Find them somebody that's highly structured in the music situation, the music game, and put them around her, put them around him, and let them work, let them cook up some stuff, see what happens comes from it. But that's still just coming down to the point where you ask for help. There's plenty of people out here. The internet is big. There's too many producers. It's too many people on this in this audio world that leads into music that you can get your hands on. And there's sometimes it's just right up right up under your nose. It's in your city. It's in your city. And if it's not in your city, go find a city. It's too many opportunities that could be left on the table just because you're trying to save a dollar. Don't save a dollar when it comes to trying to get a hit. I'll say that again. Don't consider the dollar. Don't save a dollar when it comes to making a hit. Don't look at it that way. A hit, music is already at a low. So when you're speaking of a hit record, most days, we talking about hit records. These records may not make a lot of money across the board for everybody to be super rich off of royalty.
Can I give you? Can I end it like this? Can you give us a description of how important a record is to where get into that person's mind that is wanting to do this and wants that big record, but money, they're thinking money and they're unsure of themselves about it in certain ways. Try to get in their head to why it's so important. A record is so important, why music is so important, and why it should be taken important. It's like you going to get something to eat. What? Give them that picture. Give us that picture.
I think it's really the biggest thing is speaking on the things that we just spoke on for the past, at least these last 3 episodes. Yeah. All those pieces point to one of the biggest problems, again, is asking for the help. Financially, and help can go a long way if you do it, if you utilize it the correct way, right? Don't utilize your money in your mind as a keepsake. There's a difference from saving money and then hoarding money. Right. And then there's another situation where you're being stingy with the money. Now,
but I'm saying, explain to them why they should spend that last.
I want to point out all the people that's in that line, because there's certain people who aren't stingy, but they have the money and they just hoarding it, or they, and so if it's a thing of you have a hoarding mentality, you got to ask for help. That's one. If you hoarding is an addiction. It's a situation that needs help. And if you hoard money, there's a situation you'll never actually get to experience what it can do for you. Okay, that's for those who hoard the money. So if you don't have money, here's the point why I said you ask for help. Not even just ask for help. Become part of a team that's looking for, because there's team mentality people who are looking for. It might be looking for a piano player. Might be looking for a rapper, might be looking for a singer, might be looking for organ player, might be looking for a trumpet player. Just, random stuff, string instruments. Putting the pieces together to get the bigger picture is the situation. And that's for those that are, the money situation just ain't there right now. But you had a mentality. Because see, sometimes you can have the mentality for the music, but you ain't got the value in the music. The money or something to the nature that you can start to build your own, catalog with, and it's that type of situation. But if you don't have the money, it's hard to do that. That's the part. That's different. That's the hoarding, and those who don't have. It's 2 different situations right there. But both still need to ask for help, because you can't do much without money. You can't do much if you have the money and you don't know what to do.
Hold on to that money. And I put it into something.
Now let me speak to the person.
What's the reward? What's the reward when you sacrifice?
Okay, now let me get. So you're saving your time, your energy, your money. Those that do save money, there's that part of you that don't want to just be like, okay, man, I've been working hard for this. I've been working super hard for this. I don't want to just spend it on just anything, right?
Yeah.
Now, hear what I just said. There's a difference. There's a subtle difference, even from the person who is working hard, who has the money, where it's there, you're saving it, but you don't have the same mentality as that person who doesn't have the money. The person who don't have the money, they got the mentality, got the drive, they got the work ethic, they ready to go. But the situation is sometimes being in that position where you have it and you're saving it, you sometimes second guess it because of due to what it took you to get it. So let me say this. This is one thing you were talking about too. The biggest thing is, remember, making music is a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that a lot of people aren't committed to make. Like Q just asked, and this is the point that's out. And when we talked about this the last episode, I ain't put it out yet, but it's out, should be out now. You have to realize that if the drive and that work ethic ain't there, if the work ethic is, oh, I got to go to my job in the morning. Oh, I got to go to my job tonight. I got to work through the night. And that's the only thing that drives you. That's what you're going to do. But if it's the music situation, I've seen the brokest person be the most have the biggest work ethic you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? The biggest. And it's hard to get that person to realize sometimes that it's a bigger picture than just saying that, okay, well, what if I had a couple dollars in my pocket for it? What if I have a couple dollars in my pocket for it may come via the music situation, but it may not come as a royalty. It may come as a buy-in. We want to give you a certain amount of dollars just to do your part. Now this is where you start piecing everything together, because it could be just, we need you just to write. And if you're broke and you need some money in your pocket, don't be a hard-headed individual and pass up on an opportunity that could skyrocket you to the next level with this music situation. You in the room. Think about it. You in the room now with people who are rolling, who's striving to do that. They ain't think about money. They just sitting there thinking, man, let's make hits. Let's make music. Let's crank them out. Let's crank them out. That's what's important. If like you said, if money,
because a lot of people aren't motivated. They got to see what I get from this. What's the reward from it? That's why I wanted to kind of break that down, because it's an artist out there second guessing themselves, but they don't see the importance of having a timeless song years and centuries from now. So that's why I was wanting to get.
That's why they value.
Once they know that, maybe that, that slight doubt. Should I do it? Should I not? They're gonna do it.
Yeah, that's the value. That's what creates the value in who you are. If getting a point to where you have a catalog where even if you just take it to somebody and be like, look, this me playing the piano on this record. Look, I recorded this. Look, I mixed this record. Look, I mastered this record. Now you got 4 people who are credible. You get what I'm saying? And it's not saying, it's not taking listen, don't take the credit away from anybody that is meaning saying that if your credits are on a record, take it more serious. Y'all, some don't take it serious. Some take it as, man, I got to be the big dog, man. I got to know. No, you don't have to be the big dog to be considered credible in music. It doesn't. There are too many people that are still alive that have credibility for music, and they are still broke. Let me say that. Hear me one more time. There are certain people that y'all feel like, they may be like, oh, there's this money musical tree. There's no money musical tree. And I'm actually glad they took that tree down a little, because it'll make a person more humble to the music versus it being, they see what these folk trying to do. Y'all starting clickbait farms. Y'all starting all of these processes to push a record, to make a record seem credible, and it could be totally fake. But if you take it back to that era when it was really a value, meaning people spending their hard-earned money. These folk back then didn't have money like that. But they went and spent their hard-earned money on records, on music.
That's my point.
So this is the reason you got to make sense in your own mind. Like I was speaking of,
because they seen the vision, and look, their music is timeless to this day. It's timeless to this day, and they're still eating off of that music. The music that they sacrificed so much for. So that's why I wanted people to get that image, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how it all comes. I want to really explain it in detail, because a lot of people don't see it that way. But remember, there are going to be people that are around you, tied into you, They may have some of the biggest records, but they may not be the big person on the record. You get me? So just remember the value is, again, being in the room. That's it. Get in the room with some folks that's highly motivated and ready to go getters, and go. Think about all the rest of the stuff next time. Think about all that negative stuff. As I tell somebody, like I told somebody at church the other week, if we all came in here with the same mentality, this would roll a whole lot faster. It'd go a whole lot easier. But if we come in here and our minds are totally in different directions, that's exactly what the music is going to sound like. So that is the help that I consider that could help somebody that realizes money, but not only just money, just remember the value that's in music. Music is not considerably the case of saying it's about how much money you get from it. The music could be saving somebody's life. Somebody could be on their deathbed, and the music that you're putting out is changing their mentality. It's driving their mentality. It ain't thinking about, it's not about $1. It's not about making money. It's not a,
see, we don't think they don't think like that, bro. They don't think like that.
Nah, the vision is bigger than most people have ever, looked at it as. That's why I always thought, like, okay, when it's my time to like really get into music, it can be made sense of. The sense that I like to make of music is I want to touch one person. Just one person. If you can touch one person with your music, that's value in it. That's why I say nobody ain't thinking about how much money you put into getting that record out. So stop looking at it and stop pressing it as if man, y'all don't know what it took me to get this record out. No. Put the record out. Put the record out. Give it energy from the jump. Give it positive energy. Don't look, y'all, I got this record. I love it. I'm inspired by it. God put this together. These words are affirmation. Nobody wants to hear, man, I done spent all this money on this, man. Y'all need to, you already done gave the record a bad reputation just from you doing it just that way.
You don't pay a utility bill. You don't pay the car payment. You don't pay that mortgage. You know what I'm saying? You can't take it with you at the end of the day. You ain't saying nothing about that, talking about how much you don't pay them.
No.
But you going to complain the moment you spend a dime into you want to complain. I had to look at it like that. Like,
think about it.
I remember, I know we talking, man, but man, I remember my mom used to get on me about the music, right? And I told my mom, I said, Mom, you more concerned about me going to work and spending my money to these white people, giving it. I understand responsibility, but I said, if I got it and this is my passion and my dream, why aren't you for me supporting my dream also in my music just as much as you are for me supporting paying this white man this utility or paying this white man or paying this person this or paying this person, paying somebody that don't benefit me getting anything in return from it. Like, why would I go so hard for that and not my own personal career or my history or something as Quincy? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it now. Like, just to end it, like, that's what music is. You know what I'm saying? It's your catalog. It's you. It's always gonna stick with you. Even if I leave this earth, the wine's still living. Guess what? He produced it. Oh, who that on the record? Quincy. It go hand in hand. Vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Oh, who produced that? Q? DeJuan Barrino. Like, collaborations exist and they are important. Yes.
Now, if a help was to come, that's the help that you should go off of.
And no disrespect to my mama, man. Hey, there wasn't no disrespect to my mama. I just wanted to, but I just wanted you to see the mindset that you gotta have when it comes to wanting this for yourself. Sometimes people are not gonna see that vision like you see it, but you still have to believe in that vision. And I'm talking to some artists, upcoming artists out there. No, don't expect nobody to see your vision as much as you see it for yourself. You got to see it that much and believe, be that crazy to believe that this is going to work when nobody else believes it like that. Or they might just second guess it. They might just be scared, fear. But don't let their fear instill fear into you. That's what I'm saying. Get around some people that's fearless. when you collaborate, as we've been talking about. But yeah.
Yep. In the next 20 years, there should be one person that can understand this, maybe two people. It's not easy right now just due to the people want money, but my thing is, if you really want money, separate wanting money from wanting the music. That'll be the biggest, that's the best way to say that. Separate wanting music and money, then you'll go a long way.
Right.
Those who, again, help. That's all we've been talking about. This is help. Get help. In your life, and generational things can change just from you getting help. Don't always stick to the bottom. Sticking to the bottom is something that's really a mentality. It's really just the up mentality when you just think differently. That's all it is. It ain't got nothing to do with the money. It's the mentality. So, take your value of what you do and make sense of it mentally. That's all I would love people to do. Know when to say this is money. Know when to say this is life. Know when to say that this is love. That's all this stuff is. It's different stages. Once you understand it, everybody else will understand it totally different. But if ain't nobody understanding you and what your music is trying to bring forth, and what good is it? If it can't be carried on for years and years. All right. We love y'all good people. Autism community, disabilities community. Love you. Take care of yourselves. Continue to stay motivated. And if you aren't following, please follow everything Not Just Music Podcast is doing. There's nothing short of, being active and taking content and not looking for any money or anything from it. It's just really just a thing of getting to express, be opinionative, and help people understand differently than maybe what they've already thought. And in the end, I love all y'all. Q, we out. Till next time, peace.